Credo, is this a story that you're telling in this one incident? Can you repeat that again and again across southern Africa as the Europeans took over? Was it a method they constantly used?
Yes, sir. Yes. You see, I can tell you a lot of things that were done. Some of the bloody wars which were started in South Africa between white men and black men were actually engineered by supposedly ancestral spirits, where a king suddenly saw an apparition. Now let me tell you, sir, one of these amazing stories, of which there are well over 100. And it is a true story that is known to every student of history in the land known as Lesotho. There was a great king, sir. The king's name was Muhlomi. Muhlomi was a priest king. He was a man who was both a healer and a king. Muhlomi was getting old, and he had received many wounds in battle, fighting to protect his people against invaders. One day, Muhlomi was in his house when somebody knocked on the door frame of the house. And Muhlomi asked the intruder to come in. And into their hut there came a frightening being. A being whose face was as white as the face of death. A being which wore a hood over its head. A being with unnaturally wide shoulders. A being who wore a long robe of sable antelope skin. This being squatted near the entrance of the hut in which Muhlomi was. And the being told Muhlomi that he was to take one of his golden earrings, the earrings of kingship, and go on foot for a long distance to find a young man known as Dipoko, and to give him this earring. But what are you saying, great one? Said Muhlomi, utterly terrified by this unearthly being. You are saying that I, Muhlomi, must go and find this boy and make him my successor? And the being said, yes, we, your forefathers, order you to do this. Muhlomi was thunderstruck. He tried to argue, because Muhlomi had sons whom he was hoping would succeed him after death. Now he was now being told to go and seek out a strange young man and make him future king of the Basotho people. And as Muhlomi tried to speak, the terrible tall being stood up in the hut and threw a handful of black powder on into the fireplace. There was a terrible flash, a burst of white smoke, and as Muhlomi shielded his eyes, the being left the hut. On the following day, Mhlomi told his people this in a council meeting, and the people advised Mhlomi to obey. You are the king, Mhlomi. You have been our king for a long time. You are blameless and you are as brave as a lion. But against the gods, what can you do? And thus it was that King Mhlomi was given a tame ox by his people, and he rode on the back of this ox, accompanied by 2 of his best warriors, and he went out to seek this strange boy whom he had been ordered to make future king of the Basutus. He found the boy with his companions high up on a mountain. The boy was a bandit. He lived by stealing cattle from rich men. He was a typical black Robin Hood. And Mhlomi greeted this boy, Dipoko, and he pinned his golden earring to Dipoko's right ear and said, I am commanded by the spirits of my forefathers to appoint you, Dipoko, future king of the Basotho. I am told that you are going to make this nation great. I am told that you are going to protect it. I, Mhlomi, the armed one, have spoken. Mhlomi left Dipoko, and Mhlomi sickened and died some time later. And the man named Dipoko, a young man, a cattle-stealing bandit, became known as King Moshoeshoe, the first of the Basotho. As the so-called God had spoken, it so did happen. Moshoeshoe, who had now discarded the name of Dipoko, which means disappointment, and assumed the name Moshoeshoe, which means the barber or the beard shaver. Moshoeshoe himself started seeing visions, and he started obeying the instructions of these visions that he should build a great nation out of the Basotho nation.